we have more people jumping in, and we'll hear from our development director. You hear a little bit about our programs and what it's looking like for us. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. We'll also have some time at the end for you guys to jump in and ask questions. My name is Carly. I'm the development director at Girls Inc. And thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate you being here. And I'm going to introduce Jamie, who's our executive director, and she's just going to share with you a little bit more about what's been going on with us.
All right. Oh, there we go. Hold on, I have an echo. So no, can you hear me? Okay, I guess I'm just echoey on my end. All right, well, welcome to the newly rebranded Coffee and Conversations as we shift into the fall. It's nice to be here with you this morning. And as Carly said, thank you for joining us early on a Tuesday morning. We have a short update for you about our out-of-school programming and our virtual Challenge for Change competition fundraising event that's happening now. So I'll jump right into, we kicked off our distance learning program and enrichment programs about 2 weeks ago. It has definitely been an adjustment, but our staff as usual rose to the challenge and we've adapted to our new normal. So our girls spend the first part of their days jumping between Zoom school and independent work. So that is from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then they spend their afternoons in traditional Girls Inc. enrichment programs, focusing on literacy, STEM, and academic success. We've partnered closely with Carpinteria Unified School District to ensure that every girl who needs our service has access. And foundations and grantors have generously stepped up, and we have almost $100,000 in scholarship assistance available to support the girls in our community. So we've been really fortunate that the community has rallied behind us. So that pushes me right into our Bloom, a virtual Challenge for Change fundraising competition event that kicked off August 24th. We have a bold goal to raise $250,000 to support our out-of-school programs. And as you can see, we're at about just under 67,000 to date. So we have 2 weeks left in our fundraising challenge before we do a virtual wrap party on September 25th. The event is special to us here as it honors a longtime supporter and past trustee, Mary Crowley. She lost her longtime battle with cancer back in January. And so we're really honored to recognize her and her contributions to Girls Inc. And we invite each of you to make a donation towards our bold goal and also join us for our virtual wrap party again on Friday, September 25th, where we'll have a live auction, announce our challenge winners, honor Mary, and learn about the impact that each donation makes. So right now, on a normal day, I'd be introducing our campus-based program manager, Gloria Flores. She's been with Girls Inc. for 5 years and recently transitioned into the campus-based program manager role. However, in true out-of-school fashion, she is with a group of girls right now and helping to support. We had 5 new girls start today, so helping them get onto their Zoom schools. So I'm going to do a brief update on her behalf about our out-of-school campus programs for you as well. But I just wanted to pause for a minute and just see if there's any questions before I jump into that portion.
So Jamie, this is John Stezel. Thanks for having me today. How do we donate? If people want to donate, how do we do that?
So I'll have Alexa put it in the chat box, the link to our fundraising page, and that would be great.
Thanks.
It's also available on the Girls Inc. website.
Okay.
Yes, Stephanie is here and Gail, and they are part of our Boss Ladies team as well. So they have, each team is competing to raise the most funds for the organization.
Okay.
All right, so jumping into our out-of-school enrichment program, you can see a couple of pictures of our girls on the screen. So as I shared, they spend their morning hours bouncing between Zoom school and independent work, and so our facilitators really help in that mentorship role and enriching them and making sure that they're getting their work done and that they're paying attention and understanding their lessons. We've learned a lot, and it has been a challenge, and we definitely feel for those parents that are trying to do it while working at home as well. And so that's where programs like ours and the Boys and Girls Club are really important, because we're able to take that burden off of families so they can really just focus on working and supporting their families, and we can do what we do best, which is supporting our girls in their academic success and enrichment programs. So we have about 40 girls on campus today. We have, they're in groups of 10, so we have 1 staff to 10 girls, and then in the afternoon we shift staff. So we have really a 2 to 10 ratio to limit any kind of cross spread or potential cases on campus. And we do deep cleaning every night and have a fogging machine that sprays disinfectant everywhere. So we're really careful in how we program, and actually today we're making a shift where girls need to be wearing their masks when they're not at their desk. So they'll have to be wearing their mask pretty much all day now, which is a big shift. But for those of you who follow the news closely, you can see that COVID is on the rise again, and we're really trying to make sure to keep our staff and families safe. Let's see, what else can I share about out of school enrichment? So our facilitators were all trained prior to when we opened June 1st. They did a 3-hour COVID safety training. Our campus-based program manager is actually certified in OSHA as a COVID manager. So she went through a bunch of trainings through OSHA. It was about 2 weeks long, and completed a bunch of webinars. So she is all up to date on everything that we know at this point about COVID and how it's spread, so that, again, we can keep everybody safe. And then prior to the end of the start of the school year, we closed down for a week and did some more deep cleaning, made sure all of our desks were physically distanced and 6 feet apart, and did additional training for staff, and then gave them a couple days off to kick off the school year. So I'm sure Gloria would have had a lot more to share with you. And I do apologize, it's just been one of those mornings. So I think at this point, I'll open it up to questions or comments or.
We also do have a small video to share with you guys, so you guys can actually see our girls on campus.
Perfect.
Good morning.
Has your child or member of your immediate family had any known or potential exposure to COVID-19 in the last 14 days?
No.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good.
We just really wanted to show you guys just a little bit of what our girls are experiencing as they come on campus, as they are going through our day. We are so amazed by all of our girls here on campus who have just been so adaptive and going with the changes and still enjoying learning and jumping in. And we're just very thankful for you guys' support. And our girls are thankful, and they're having so much fun being in person, even though it's masked or anything like that, but being outside and being able to be adaptable, and your guys' support is crucial to that. So we're just so thankful for you guys being here. We're happy to answer any questions that you guys have as well about distance learning, Girls Inc., Bloom, anything like that, I did pop the link for Bloom up in the chat box as well, if you guys want to make a donation that way as well. Does anybody have any questions? Gail, I think you're asking a question, but you're muted.
Okay.
There we go.
Is Howard School present in any way right now?
I'm muting myself. No, they're not. So they are set to start with remote learning. They were notified of their waiver to open Friday, but they had already planned to start with remote learning today. And then I haven't had an update on when they'll actually start in person.
Thank you.
So Carly or Jamie, this is John Stenzel again. Nice to meet you guys. Jamie and I met on LinkedIn, I think last week, and she invited me to this, so I'm excited. Just real quick, I am a consultant in the healthcare field and have been consulting to Casa Pacifica for about 5 years now. And I've never heard of you guys. I apologize for that. I'm a new resident in Ventura City. And I just want to know, do you guys have a working relationship with Casa Pacifica at all?
We don't at this time. I believe we used to partner with them, and again, Gloria, who couldn't be on this call, would be able to answer best, but not at this point. We did have programming in Ventura County for the last 4 years, Jessica, but not at this point.
Okay, maybe we'll have to bring that back to life.
Like all the connections we can make our best.
Absolutely.
Jamie,
Hi, Jamie.
I have a question. Hey, Jamie Diamond here. So how have the kids been doing with the distance learning? Have you noticed, Jamie and Carly, you guys both have, well, Jamie, yours isn't in school yet, but Carly, you have kids in school. So can you compare like the kids, like the girls at Girls Inc. versus the kids that may be at home, or are they being better served at Girls Inc.? Are they having a harder time? Like how are you able to kind of weight their school experience, I guess is what I'm asking, that they're having with you guys? And if they're having trouble, do you have people there that are able to help them from an academic standpoint?
Yeah, I can answer that from a Girls Inc. perspective. So we have definitely struggled. We have girls that are struggling, and there are some girls that in general have trouble paying attention even in an in-person setting. But we have a great partnership with both principals at Canalino and Aliso and Carpinteria Family School, and they have been extremely supportive. So the counselors, Shanna was over here last week, and then I forget the gentleman's name who's a counselor at Aliso, but he's also stopped by to help support girls. And we email with the principals on like a daily, sometimes or weekly basis. I think the biggest struggle has been honestly the connection. So we've had to up our internet connection to like the highest Cox is able to offer, as well as get all new Wi-Fi routers throughout our facility, because not only are 40 kids on Zoom, but all of the teachers require that their cameras are on. So it's sucking a lot of bandwidth. And then the other struggle that we've noticed, besides just the connection, is every teacher has a different schedule. So Carpinteria Unified rolled out with a general guideline between 9 and 10 of doing English language arts, for example, but some kids log on right at 9, some are 9:15, some are 9:45. So keeping track of everybody's different schedule has been a challenge for our facilitators, but as we continue to open up that communication, it's starting to get a little easier. It's hard to speak to, obviously, and Carly might be able to, what they're doing at home, but we did just partner with United Way, and they're offering scholarships for 15 kids that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford our program, and they're paying full price, and so it has to be a referral program. So the school district has to refer them to us. So it could be that they don't have internet at home, it could be that they come from a difficult home situation, whatever it might be, but as soon as they're referred over to us, we have spaces for them to take them.
Fabulous. That's so great to hear that you'll be able to serve more kids that need to be able to be there. How are you hearing anything about maybe siblings that aren't able to be at Girls Inc. That are having a different experience? Like, are they saying, hey, my brother or my other whatever, and they're having a harder time because they're not able to be supported at a place like Girls Inc. or Boys and Girls Club?
We can't hear you, Jamie. I think you're. I mean, I can say from my perspective, just because I can be on Girls Inc. campus, and then I have, my daughter's at home. She's in 2nd grade at Canalino, and I can speak from that experience, and that I see both sides, and we're just so. I think at Girls Inc. there's the struggles, but there's struggles at home, and they're very similar. Whether it's 1 kid or 50 kids, it's the scheduling and the internet and the timing, and it's just a really long day, really long day, even though they get great breaks for that. I think for me at Girls Inc. is amazing is that they're getting help. I've seen a lot of kids that my daughter's Zooming with, or, we have a very small pod that we see as well. And they're getting help from their siblings, because their parents are working, they have to be working. And so the Girls Inc. is able to help with some of that. I know that we're, really also trying to get some of the older kids in too, so that we can give that support to them as well, because their education is just as important, as the littler kids. And so, we've seen a lot of that I've seen personally from my daughter Zooming and from friends' kids Zooming, and just the experiences is that, there's just still a lot of people who don't have access to internet, or maybe don't have the bandwidth we have. I mean, we have, the ability to bump it up, and it's harder at home. My husband and I have the ability to bump it at home and stuff like that. But if you didn't have that ability, you'd be missing out on a lot. And if you're an older kid trying to take care of your younger siblings, you're missing a lot of your schooling as well. And so how Girls Inc. can partner with those families in any way, have more opening spots, that's what we're just trying to partner with, and see how we can support our community even more.
Carly, I just wanted to jump in and say one other thing about the socialization. We had a girl who, she was out of the program, for this whole time. She didn't come back in June, and her parents brought her back this week. And the reason was not all that they needed help with distance learning, but mainly that they were worried about her mental health and not being socialized with other children. And so, I know that a lot of families, that's a big concern for them. And that's one of the reasons why people are sending their girls to Girls Inc. in a safe way. We can allow them to be social during those breaks, because at home you may be, doing chores or helping with your siblings when you're on your break. And a lot of the girls at Girls Inc., it's sort of really helping them with that aspect, the social emotional learning, because they're able to be with their peers, even if it is from a distance. And I know that that's one of the things that families are struggling with everywhere. But it's one of the reasons a lot of our families have sent their kids to Girls Inc., even if they are, able to do the distance learning at home.
Absolutely. And I think we can speak for most of the staff on campus, like hearing the voices of the girls giggling and laughing. It's just been amazing. I know for me personally, just to hear them walking past my window, giggling and laughing and having time together, that's been almost, if not more important than the distance learning, I think, for a lot of our kids on campus.
Jamie or Carly, can you share with us how many spots are available in addition to the 15 scholarships through United Way? Are there more spaces available? What's our capacity?
So our capacity with physical distancing is 70. However, we need to hire more. So we have spots for 50 right now, but we'll need to hire 4 additional staff in order to reach that 70 number, because again, we don't want any staff kind of crossing groups. So we are in the process of hiring, just haven't been super successful at this point.
And John, to answer your question, does Girls Inc. provide mental health? We don't have anyone on staff, but we do partner with the schools. Like Jamie mentioned, we have the counselors who come in and work with our girls, who do a lot of home check-ins and Zoom check-ins. And I know that my daughters utilize the counseling through Canalino. So we definitely facilitate it and encourage it, but we don't actually provide it by our staffing.
Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of opportunities to collaborate with Cost Pacifica, and we have both public funding, wraparound services, TBS, we call it intensive in-home behavioral services, and we now, over the last 5 years, accept private insurance for a full continuum of care as well. So I think there's going to be some really good opportunities for us to work with you guys and refer to you as well.
What? Wonderful. That's great. Sorry, my dog's hearing something.
All right, any other questions?
Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't deliver coffee. When we were doing cocktails, we were at least delivering wine, but it would have been an early morning for Carly if she had to deliver coffee across the county.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming. And feel free to reach out to us at any time, and we will definitely do another one in October with new updates. As the school changes, we change. We try to be responsive, and we'll see where this takes us, all of us together.
Yeah, congrats, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Gail,
guys.
and this was helpful,
Oh.
Bloom. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Gail.